Today for circles, we're going to be looking at finding the points of intersection and converting from general form into standard form using completing the square. So first, if we want to find the intersection, so if I give you a circle equation, so if I give you x squared plus y squared equals 16, again, that's a circle equation. It have a center at 0, 0 and a radius of 4. And then the equation of a line, so x minus y equals 4. And we want to find all points of intersection. The first thing you want to do, so I'll give you some steps here. The first thing you want to do is set the linear to x equals or y equals. So set linear, that's the one that doesn't have any squareds, to either x equals or y equals. It does not matter either way. We're going to be doing substitution. So on this problem, if I change the second equation to be x equals y plus 4. Step 2 is we're going to substitute. Keep in mind you're going to have to FOIL here because you're going to be substituting into a square. So we're going to take y plus 4 and we're going to plug it in to x. So we will have y plus 4 squared plus y squared equals 16. Remember, y plus 4 squared is the same thing as y plus 4 times y plus 4. You need to write it out twice and then FOIL it out. So this will give us y squared, and then we'd have plus 4y plus another 4y, so that'd be plus 8y plus 16, and then plus this y squared equals 16. Next thing we want to do is set equal to 0. So we're going to combine like terms and subtract the 16 over. So if we combine our y squareds, we get 2y squared, and then plus 8y. And then if we subtract this 16, so if we subtract 16, that'll go away. We subtract 16 from here, that 16 actually cancels out, which is quite nice. So that would equal 0. Step 4 is we need to factor. So you always look for what's in common. Both of these divide by 2. They also divide by y, so we're going to pull out a factor of 2y. 2y squared divided by 2y is y. 8y divided by 2y is 4. So then we're going to solve. So our factors would be, here we get y equals 0, because 2y equals 0 when y equals 0, and y would equal negative 4, because we change the sign or set it equal to 0. So that gives us the y value. Remember, we're looking for the points of intersection. We've got a circle, and we've got a line, so we want to find those points where they intersect. So we know our solutions are going to be some coordinate points. The y value of one of them is 0. The y value of another one is negative 4. So those are our two y values. Now we need to plug in and solve for x. So step 6 is plug in each y to solve for x. Now if you had done this problem and you solved and you had x equals, then you would plug in and solve for y, obviously. I'm going to switch colors for us. So now we're going to come over, we're going to plug 0 in, and we're going to plug 4. And I'm going to use this equation up here to solve for x. So we know that x is equal to 0 plus 4. So when y is 0, x is 4. So this would be a 4. Then we're going to plug in negative 4. So x is equal to negative 4 plus 4. So x would be equal to 0. So when y is negative 4, x is 0. You have to make sure you line them up and you know which one belongs with which, because the point 4 and negative 4 is not correct. You have to make sure you line them up with the original. So those would be our two intersection points, which would be our solution. Now, had I graphed this correctly, we would have seen those true intersection points. So it really is these points that this line, oops, right here is the actual line that we graphed. I just kind of drew a line in there for us. So those are our points of intersection. That would be our solution. The next thing we're going to look at is going from general form into standard form. We're going to do that by completing the square. So your directions would say to write in standard form. So if I give you the equation x squared plus y squared plus 8x minus 4y plus 11 equals 0. We're going to go ahead and write some steps for this as well, so that way you know what to do each time you encounter this problem. So the first thing you're going to do is move constant, and group x's and y's. And I'll explain what that means in a second. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move this constant over. So we're going to subtract 11 to the other side. And then we're going to group. So we're going to put my x's together and we're going to put my y's together in order. So we're going to go x squared plus 8x plus y squared minus 4y equals negative 11. Notice this negative 4 stays with the y, so you don't want to change any of their signs, just leave their signs as is. The second thing we want to do is we're going to add b over 2 squared. If you remember, that's what we always added when we do complete the square, to both sides for each group. Okay, so we have our x's and we have our y's, so we're going to have to complete the square for each one of those. So we're going to have x squared plus 8x plus blank, and in that blank is half of the middle squared, half of b, which is 8, so b is 8, half of that is 4, squared would be 16. Then we're going to add to that our y's, so plus, in my y terms, I'm going to do it in a different color. My y terms, we have y squared minus 4y plus blank. So half of negative 4 is negative 2, squared is 4. But now the big key here is we have to make sure we add it to the other side. So on the other side we have negative 11 already, but we also have to add in both of those blanks. So we have to add in our 16, and we have to add in that 4. So we're going to add blanks, 2 blanks on the right. Because we have 2 blanks on the left, we're going to have 2 blanks on the right. It's very, very important that you do that. This is where most of your mistakes come in, is over here on this right-hand side. So if you put 2 blanks on the left, you'll have 2 blanks on the right. Now we're going to factor each group and then simplify. Okay, so x squared plus 8x plus 16, what multiplies to be 16, that adds to be 8, would be 4 and 4. So this will factor to x plus 4 squared, because x plus 4 and x plus 4. Then multiplies to be 4, but adds to be negative 4. That would be negative 2 and negative 2, because negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Negative 2 plus negative 2 is negative 4. So we'd have y minus 2 squared. And then over here, we're going to do negative 11 plus 16, which is 5. And then we add 4 to that, which would give us 9. So now we have a circle equation in standard form. X plus 4 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 9. We always want to name the center and radius, so our center would be at negative 4, positive 2, and the radius is equal to 3. Okay, so just to recap real quick, we moved our constant to the other side, and then we rearranged the order. So it went x squared x, y squared y. In each one of those sections, we're going to add a blank. We add a blank on the left twice, so we're going to add a blank on the right twice. So the first thing I typically do when I set it up, I do x squared plus 8x plus blank plus y squared minus 4y plus blank equals negative 11 plus blank plus blank. And then I go back in and fill the blanks. You can do it in whatever order you want, just make sure you are not forgetting to add both of those numbers on the right-hand side. Then we factor, either think about what multiplies to the end it adds to be the middle, keeping in mind it's going to be the same number, or remember the pattern or the shortcut that it's always just half of the middle number. So half of 8 is 4, half of -4 is -2, and then your outside is squared. Add all your numbers up on the right, and you've finished.